All of us of us. I'm trying to sing a Thanksgiving song, but I don't know any Thanksgiving songs.
Oh, you don't know? You don't know Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. We are thankful for Thanksgiving.
I haven't heard that one.
You haven't heard that one?
You guys nailed that together. You sounded great.
Well, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrated it. And bad Thanksgiving to those who didn't.
Those who didn't.
This is an American holiday, baby, and we're going to milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
In light of that, it was just this past Thursday. Let's say one thing we're all grateful for.
Okay. That's a great one.
I'm thankful for that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
What about the men who died?
Who will you not forget?
Oh, yeah. Who died for you and me?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thankful
not
for
the
them
line,
too.
but sure.
No, not quite.
Wait, were you quoting
No,
something?
that's
But that's fine.
pretty
I'm
famous
thankful
song.
for BB-8, who I think is maybe perhaps the best addition to the Star Wars universe that came from the sequel trilogy.
Interesting. I think you forgot about Rey.
Ray Skywalker.
Rey Skywalker.
Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, I did forget about that. No, she and Kylo Ren, BB-8 and Kylo Ren are what I'm grateful for.
That's fair.
Just been thinking about that recently.
I don't know that I'm grateful for
I'm
them.
also, I'm grateful for my mother, who is currently preparing Thanksgiving dinner downstairs, and as such, you might hear some pots and pans clinking and clanking every now and then in this episode.
Oh,
It'll be a
shout
Shout out
lovely
to
way
Kel.
for Kel shouting us out. Every time we hear a clink or a clonk, it's Kel warming
just
our
her.
hearts.
Kel.
Yeah, big
That's
up
right.
in what we're saying.
Yeah, well,
great.
I'm thankful for Niall's mom as well, actually. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to get in before Jared stole that one from me.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, I'll say this instead. I'm grateful for you boys and this podcast.
Well, now I feel like my answer is bad.
We
Now
just
I feel like my answer
celebrated
is really bad.
we just celebrated our 3 years together recording this podcast, and that is so very exciting. And so not only are we thankful for each other, but of course we are thankful to you, our listeners, all 4 of you. That's right, it's the 3 of us and Kel. So really we've already covered our bases.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we're excited to announce that after 3 long years of fun, we're ending the podcast, and this is our last ever episode.
We're going to do a big finale, though. So this is part 1 of our long finale.
Part 1 of 128.
Exactly. And we are also proud to announce that we are going to be opening a Orange Boys branded cruise line as our logical next step after we wrap up the podcast. So stay tuned for that. If you want to learn more about it, follow us on socials and
At Orange Boys Maritime.
Use code Thanksgiving for a chance to enter.
The raffle.
A chance to enter. You don't even you're not even gonna be able to enter, but you'll have a chance to enter the raffle for the first cruise that we
to
sink.
buy the tickets to get on the cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, did you get Comic-Con tickets?
Unfortunately, I did not get Comic-Con tickets.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
It's fine.
Yeah, we watched. You
watched me not get them.
to sell out.
Yeah.
I watched him say
Watched the
they
light
sold out
leave
of
my
Saturday.
eyes.
They sold out of Friday.
Yeah.
It was pretty sad
That's
to watch.
pretty sad.
It's
well,
fine.
Instead, I'll give you a little special little gift for you. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
I got you this theme song intro to the podcast.
Equal or greater value.
Thanksgiving, we love you.
Having a good time.
Thanksgiving.
I'll be home
Welcome
for
to-
Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to Man Kid Movie Night. This is a show where we sing holiday
Thanksgiving.
tunes.
Holiday tunes.
So if you're tuning in for some tunes, we got you covered.
Oh yeah,
do.
I have a fact about Thanksgiving to
Yeah,
share.
give us one.
This isn't really about Thanksgiving as much as
Okay.
it's about a
And
different
it's not really
thing,
a fact.
But, yeah, it's more an opinion. About the Anyway, no. Did you know that Ben Franklin did not want the bald eagle to be the national bird?
Who's Ben
did he
He
Franklin?
wanted the wild turkey to be the national bird
Really?
because he felt like it represented our aggressive and defiant nature better than a bald eagle.
L take, Ben. L take.
Dude, have you ever seen a wild turkey?
imagine?
Those things are nuts.
Yeah, fat and don't fly or nothing. They're just stupid.
You're
They just gobble.
coming dangerously close to describing an American.
Yeah, but not in the 1700s. They didn't know.
Yeah,
That's
if-
true.
If we split Americans into two categories, bald eagles or turkeys,
Wild turkeys.
I think we'd have a greater turkey population.
I think
We're
so.
we're all
turkeys.
We're all
We're
wild
eagles.
No, we're
I mean,
eagles.
we're eagles.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're
Yeah,
eagles.
I'm an
We're
eagle.
part
I gotta
of the
switch
cool
it.
kids of America.
so
We're
set on
apex
emulating
predators.
a bald eagle that I'm going bald myself as a choice to emulate a bald eagle.
Choice.
Oh, that actually is. Really
And then when
cool.
when Niall jumps off the 8th floor of a building, that's also a choice to fly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, hey, this is a very special Thanksgiving episode for you guys. In that we're not going to talk about Thanksgiving anymore. We already talked a little bit about our favorite Thanksgiving movies during our Autumn Spooktacular episode. And so, what I thought would be more fun is if we really dove into the spirit of this podcast we're very grateful for, and instead just asked some fun little random little questions that have been on our minds or that
Geo.
we just made up. So that said, this will be a little less coherent probably, but
It'll be a
way
little
more
loosey
fun.
goosey. It'll be if it's way more fun, then we need to zoom out and take a look at our format.
Yeah, maybe.
It will
already
be
talked
equally fun.
Turkeys, so no more of that.
No more turkey talk.
We'll start with my question, I think.
Okay.
That's an easy
That's great.
one to get kicked off with. And this one, I'm gonna entitle it. It's like a little game. It's gonna be called "They Had Us in the First Half, Not Gonna Lie."
Okay. Great.
And this is my question is, what is a show or a movie that, or any piece of entertainment that started out really strong, and then hit a point and it just started being real bad, and you're like, kind of ruins the show or movie. Probably won't watch that again. Maybe I will, but I'll just watch the highlights
Yeah. I'll tell you
because there's
mine right
plenty
now.
out there.
I'm curious, Niall. What's yours?
What's yours?
You're not going to care at all, Lucas, but it is the anime Sword Art Online, where the first 12 episodes
Yeah.
are rock solid. They're really, as my brother would describe it, my oldest brother Ian, he would describe it as Japanime, where you have some anime that's pretty like accessible in other cultures, and then there's some anime that's very like, okay, this is the anime that people that hate anime are thinking of, you know? And
Is that Sword Art Online, really?
has a lot of, it has a lot of like, just like girls wearing short skirts and the camera is like set in between their legs looking through at different characters and things like that, where you're just like, ugh, this feels a little rank. But Sword Art Online has a really cool start, and the concept of it is really cool, other than this kind of like 2-episode arc that really sucks within those 12 episodes. There's even some kind of cool buildup that leads to other cool things from that in those first 12 episodes. However, after those episodes, the show entirely changes concept even.
Yeah.
And
Really?
like, they're
Never heard
in
of
this
an anime
video
like
not,
that.
game.
halfway
not
through.
entirely concept.
Well, yeah, but it changes the
worlds.
setting, and it changes the relationships, and just everything is different. And then apparently, like, the premise of the game is basically Ready Player One. They're in this video game, and that's like where they exist.
I mean,
However,
Spy Kids 3D.
Spy Kids 3D. However, once they're in the game, the creator of the game is like, you're locked in here and you can't leave.
Yeah.
So now they're stuck in this game, and the only way to leave is to beat the game. And the main character is a guy who was a beta player, so he's already a little bit ahead and knows how the game works a little bit, and he just gets really good at it and accelerates through the game. However, you think, all right, that's a great premise for like
world.
maybe
That
2 or
does sound
3
cool.
seasons. 12 episodes in, wins, gets out of the game. Then you have
What?
like a 3 or 4 arc of him out in the world
Yeah.
where his like little sister or cousin or something is like weirdly attracted
Yeah,
to
it's a
him and
bit
talks about it way
incestuous.
too much. And you're like, this is creepy.
And not in the
I
fun
bailed-
Game of Thrones.
I bailed during that. Yeah. I bailed during that. And then apparently they go into another game and it gets cool again and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's like a different type of game. There's like gunslinging and stuff. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, I just
That's what I've
want
heard.
the world, the cool like fantasy swords world. It's just a bit of a bummer that what I wanted out of it is not what the general concept of the show actually turned out to be, and
Is it,
that was a bit of a shame.
Is it just one season or is it a multi-season?
There's like 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Did you watch the whole thing or
But-
just give up after a while?
No, I gave up on probably episode 14 because I was so dismayed. However, episodes 1 through 12, I can totally see myself going back and watching again
cool.
because I loved them. I thought they were sweet.
Yeah,
So,
I watched the first 2 arcs. So I watched that one and the kind of weird fairy incestuous arc.
gotcha.
It was a bit uncomfy at times. Still some cool powers, not nearly as interesting as Sword Art, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
c'est
I've
la
heard
vie.
season 2 has good stuff, but I'm like, I just
Same.
don't care enough to get there. Like,
Yeah, totally.
So-
Great answer,
thanks.
Cool.
Lucas.
I have an answer, but I'm not going to talk about it because we did a whole episode on it, and it was briefly mentioned, which was Game of Thrones, of course.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Well,
I
wait,
loved that show.
You didn't think it? You thought it got bad at some point?
Somehow,
When?
somehow I thought it got bad at some point. I don't
okay.
remember
Crazy.
exactly. It was so
LP.
gradual that I was like, man, this is kind of not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, very gradual.
Very gradual.
Not just a
progression.
hard shift at a certain season.
Yeah, not out of nowhere. It's not a good show anymore after being really,
Yeah,
really
I would
good.
say I want to pitch in there just real quick before you keep talking because it's still my turn. Just kidding. No, but I think that the difference between Game of Thrones and maybe some of these other things that we talk about. Also, sorry, the room that I'm in is very reverby. I'm in a different room than I'm normally in, so
Yeah, you're in
I
a
apologize
hotel
if my
room.
audio
Yeah,
sounds
me
a little
too.
bit weird. Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm
you can
in,
tell I'm in a different room than I'm usually
I'm in
in.
Sydney, Australia right now. It's like 3 a.m.
You're there
but,
too?
Yeah.
It's 2
we should
o'clock in
link up.
Hawaii.
Oh, great. Sweet. I think that while Game of Thrones did have a significant quality shift, it didn't make it like irredeemable. Like I was still like, okay, I'm happy to get to the end and see where these characters ended up, even though it's not where I wanted. And also, it didn't like corrupt earlier episodes for me. Where even with like Sword Art Online, I feel like those first 12 episodes, I'm probably not going to like as much now that I
that you
know
know.
where they're going. You know?
Well, yeah, as soon as the promise in the first episodes of Sword Art is this is a world we get to explore, we get to
Yeah.
learn more about, and then have that ripped out from under you. And they're like, oh, actually, go into this other game now. It's just
Oh, it's
kind
a
of
new game after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second arc is a completely different game.
Weird.
And so it's just like, yeah, I totally get that. The rewatch
Yeah.
value is diminished. Game of Thrones, even if you know who's going to sit on the Iron Throne, you know,
It's still just like
It's still
there's
a
so
good
much
ride.
minutia that they're going through the whole time that it's like I can enjoy this right now. You know?
Yeah, no, totally.
But
You can
what's
definitely
your
enjoy
actual
it,
answer?
but I will say it does diminish for me. Like some of the other stuff. Like as much as I love the first 7 seasons, honestly, I really, really even season 7 that a lot of people don't like. I thought it was great. The last
I love
episode in
season 7.
particular just hurts me physically.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing the circumstances of why it ended when it did and how it did with just those guys wanting to make a Star Wars movie. Like that all, and then they got fired from Star Wars because of how bad Game of Thrones ended. Like all that
Yeah.
just makes it even worse. Just sting all the more. It almost makes you
sad.
just wish they could scrap season 8, say, hey, we're actually picking up where season 7 left off and
You know-
doing it again. But
we've had stuff like that before, right? Shows have kind of retcon things and remade an ending.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Honestly, if they did that in 5 years, all the actors look way older, but
they just start out the first episode of season 9 with just the ending of season 8 and then a VCR rewind effect to the beginning of season 8.
All right,
and then
let's take that back.
Differently.
Yeah, unceremoniously.
That would be awesome.
Well, they could just, there's all sorts of ways if they were to. But the actors are too big now. I doubt they would even agree or want to come back to Game of Thrones.
They're too big? They won't fit in frame anymore?
Yeah, they've grown too large, like all Americans do.
They've all
everyone
flown
in that
into
show
the
is
sun.
American and not British.
Yeah, they used to be eagles. They're turkeys now.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, but the show I'm going to say is one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, and that is The Simpsons. The Simpsons is
great. Yeah,
truly, it's one of my favorite shows ever. I grew up watching it. I still love rewatching earlier episodes, but for a lot of people after season 10 it drops off. I think it still maintains a pretty good level of quality through like season 12 and 13ish. I would say 13 is really where it starts to dip, and then it has good seasons and good episodes here and there. I've seen seasons 1 through 25, and let me tell you,
nice.
Those 21 through 24 are tough to get through. And really? I just eventually got to a point where I was like, I'm just not going to bother with seasons 26 through 34. But there are still some people who watch the new Simpsons episodes as they come out.
Well,
but
clearly,
just comparative
to keep making it.
They're still making it. I don't know how or why, but they are. And for as many seasons as it was great for, you have to, hand it to them. And there are good episodes here and there still. Like we watched the newer frickin' Halloween Horror Night that spoofs Death Note, which was really fun, actually. Yeah. And so stuff like that is good every now and again, but for the most part, it just is not nearly on the same level. It very much dipped off. But, it did not affect I can still enjoy the earlier seasons just as much as before because it's not tied in really. Like the only thing that is really consistent is the characters. They never age. There's no real overarching story. They'll reference themselves every now and again, but otherwise, it's just like a fun show to watch. But unfortunately, it takes a pretty hard, rough dip. And then final shout out, obviously Lost, but I don't want to talk about that because
Lost bad. Lost bad from the beginning.
Lost good, but it does dip some quality. No.
That's fair to shout out.
It's actually good from the beginning, Niall, remember?
No, Lost always bad. They rely on a mystery to make you think that it's good, but it's not.
Stop.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Stop.
Well, we're losing Lucas, so...
I'm too sad now.
I have to collect himself emotionally, so I think, Jared, you go.
Okay, so a movie answer.
Ooh.
That I don't... This is why I thought of the question, is because this movie's been very popular at the moment, very talked about. Lucas and I got to go see it. I don't know if Niall has yet, so there's no spoilers. Yeah, we saw Dune Part 2.
Dude, it was so
and it
cool.
sucked.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was
It
cool.
was cool
Part
until
1.
the end when it
But it
sucked.
sucked that it was terrible.
Which I could actually see people saying about the book,
Yeah.
getting to the last 15 pages and going,
What?
Like, really?
What the heck?
So
No,
I
it'll
get
be
it.
good. It'll be very
Really?
good. Really? No, it's The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
The Hunger Games.
And everyone's
I'm okay
talking about
being
this
spoiled
right now.
for that if you
No, I don't want to
spoilers.
say any spoilers, but
Sure.
I'll say this, which is a general spoiler. After the games end, there's still like an hour left in the movie.
Nuh-uh.
And so, and this is a story of...
Bruh, consolidate.
Well, the novel, I guess, is just following this Coriolanus Snow character kind of
Snow
turning
guy.
into the villain.
Mm-hmm.
But really,
Can you put
again,
some of
as
that
an
during the
audience,
games?
you kind of want just to watch the games at a
Totally.
certain point. And so when it ends and it just kind of drags on for that extra hour, it really does feel long. Now, if they were more consistent with how they portray his character and really show him now turning into a villain, that would be another thing. But it still kind of feels like it feels rushed somehow. This change of him becoming
Poorly paced,
a villain.
but also very long.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of ruins the latter half of that film. And so in the first half, great. Second half, not really worth watching that last hour. But again, had me in the first half. Not saying it's a terrible movie, but I don't want to go watch it again because I know the last hour is going to be a long hour. So
yeah, I was talking to someone about that today, and apparently the book has internal monologue, like it's first person from Snow's point of view.
That's what I've heard as well.
That would be awesome, cool. Because they're saying this one guy at work I was talking to about it because he really liked the movie, and I was like, it was just like he turned so quickly and it was so long, like it didn't feel like he earned the status of he's the worst person alive by the time we get to the Hunger Games. And he's like, yeah, I definitely get how you see that, because in the book his internal dialogue is evil the whole way through. Like he has ulterior motives, and he's looking for ways to like usurp people and get them. And I'm like, that does sound really cool. Exploit situations, exactly. And I did not.
That's
feel
a cool
that
like
they
concept
really well.
for a book.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Like our protagonist is the bad guy, and we're gonna commit
evil
to that,
the whole time.
Not really make him sympathetic.
No.
You know, I think it's a cool concept for a universe expansion that for any other book could be just kind of soulless, like, oh, I'll just crank out another one, you know? Yeah.
Well, and Suzanne Collins, I believe is the name of the author, she is very adamant that she's not going to write more if there's not an angle or a story that she's passionate about telling, which I, of course, appreciate.
Totally.
Everyone who's read the book has said it's awesome. Of course, there's a little bit of a sampling bias because the only reason you'd read the book is because you like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And so, of course, you're probably going to like this one. So, all that said, movie was pretty good. Loved some of it. Didn't love some of it.
That's cool.
Anyway.
That's a good answer.
So that's...
I've got one more honorable mention.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a TV show answer
more?
really quick as well.
Oh, yeah, then you do that. My honorable mention is a dumb joke.
Okay. Well, this podcast, is that your...
Got him. Yeah, I think we fell off that
This is the only
20.
good question that we have for this episode.
After Lucas and Carr getting coffee, we fell off.
Really went downhill from there.
No, my TV answer is Ted Lasso, which I know neither of you have seen.
Some people are going to kill you for it.
Not the third season, at least.
Oh, you haven't seen the third season?
I haven't seen any.
I love season one. Season one is fantastic. It's like just a really well done sports story where you have this dysfunctional team. You got a leader who's has an unwavering enthusiasm and optimism about him. And by the end of this season, the team has banded together and, you know, they're in a much better spot, right? It really plays on real characters, real situation, overcoming real challenges. And it's a great first season. Second season, carrying with that momentum, it's still fun. There's still great like jokes and cool character depth and relationships. But it starts introducing some parts you're like, I don't really care too much about this storyline. It seems like you're just trying to figure out what the characters are doing. Now, season 3, which is the final season of Ted Lasso, they are probably going to do a spin-off.
Are they really?
Ted Lasso, Ted's son.
They've talked about doing a spin-off show.
Did they tease what it would be about in the end?
No.
It would be about
they haven't announced
Americanization of football and how other footballs outside of America are going to turn into American football.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be kind of like a pandemic style, like spreading across the world, but instead of a disease, it's American football. And Ted Lasso is going to be the only man that can stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be great.
It's going to be cool. He wears a lab coat and he has a six-pack.
And he has a nose that sniffs out crime. Anyway, it's an It's Always Sunny reference.
Another show that fell off.
Yeah.
No.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, season 3, it kind of lost all of its heart, in my opinion. Every character no longer feels like a real person. It just seems like a caricature or a type of person. And it doesn't seem as genuine of these are real circumstances that they have to overcome. It becomes, what bit are we doing in this episode? You know, what's the joke that could be told in this episode?
That's a shame.
We've got a lot of joke ideas for the team goes to Amsterdam. So that's an episode, you know? But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of that real grounded I mean, like real person energy in that third season. So kind of a bummer. Maybe worth watching the first season again, but after that, it's kind of doesn't end well.
That's
Good
a bummer.
to know.
I would say I did not. I didn't watch the third season because the second season really didn't wow me. Like I really liked the first season, and by the time I had watched it, the second season was out, and so I started it, and I was just kind of like, this isn't as good. Like it's still pretty good, but yeah, there are a few storylines and things they do. I'm like, what the heck? Why are you doing that? It's just fine.
Yeah, if you're a completionist, you might still end up finishing season 3.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get around to it one day, but
the final episode has a good like kind of wrap up energy to it. But
yeah, I looked up how it ends, and I think it ends well, like based on what I read.
And what's your joke?
My joke is that my honorable mention is a mostly cooled hot dog.
Because of why?
Yeah.
Because the first bite, it's still like kind of warm. And you're like, oh, okay, hot dog.
Yeah.
But then by the last bite, it's like all the way cooled down. And it's just like, ugh, hot dogs aren't good when they're not warm.
Bro, that's so many foods.
Do you not just pull a hot dog out
That's
of the freezer and just
mostly
suck it
warm
down?
glass of milk.
Yeah.
I disagree. Warm milk is yum. Room temperature
Ice
milk
cream.
is best. Anyway,
Yeah.
I have
Isn't
a
as
have a
good at
question.
the end as it is when
I
you
have a
start it.
question.
Yeah,
Stop talking about
what
warm
else?
Let's
food,
do it.
Niall.
Okay.
So that's your first question, team.
Question
Good
2.
question. I like it.
Unrelated.
Question
but
2.
a little bit related.
you
Let's
have a name for your
say
question
one of
like I
these
did?
shows.
Yeah, name it.
Or something that fell off. You had the opportunity to reboot. And
Name the question.
What would be
Name it.
that franchise, series, or even book series? I mean, if you really wanted to, just whatever. Movie, TV show series, just something like that you felt could get another little revamp in a reboot. Because, you know, we got a Twilight reboot coming. We got a Harry Potter reboot
Yes,
coming.
finally.
We got Percy Jackson reboot coming. We got
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's all sorts of
I can
reboots
name
coming.
your question for you. This question is named the recycling bin.
Cool. I love it. What are you going to recycle, Niall? What are you going to pull out of there and spit back out?
It's such a good question. And this is going to be an unpopular answer. It's already unpopular in my brain, but I'm going to stick with it because it was truly the first thing that I thought when you told us about this question. I want, in a TV setting, Cowboys and Aliens. You know, the Daniel Craig and
Yeah, I
Olivia
know
Wilde
it.
movie.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't watched it.
I like the general concept, honestly.
Sure.
That was the first movie that I saw in the movie theater that I ended up working in my high school years. It was
Really?
like coming out around the time that theater was finished. And I remember Ethan Davis and I, shout out Ethan Davis, went and saw Cowboys and Aliens. And we were like, that was okay. And
I remember feeling the
You
same
liked the
way about
concept.
that.
yeah. But I think the concept is kind of fun. And I feel like if you did it in a more like TV way, I guess, and kind of spent some time really just making you feel like you were in the West and here are these aliens, but maybe that's not even the main antagonist. Maybe there's like, you know, that's just another thing that's happening when there's already conflict between some cowboys and some other cowboys or whatever. I just feel like it's a cool idea that was wasted on just kind of a whatever movie that was just forgotten about immediately. But done right, could be really entertaining to watch. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a
Yeah,
good
sure.
answer.
No, that's not.
And if you disagree, stay out of the comments.
I don't think
feel like
that's
we
unpopular because I don't think people have an opinion at all about Cowboys and Aliens. So
Yeah, true.
it's just like, sure, why not? I
That's fair.
guess.
I've got 2 answers because one, I do remember, I think we did this before because I remember what my answer was and I really like my answer before. And so I will
okay.
recycle that.
Cool.
Because I said The Lost
Recycling bin,
Boys.
big time. Yeah,
As
I
an
remember
anime.
saying that.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Lost Boys as in the vampire 80s flick as a very stylized Netflix anime. Doesn't even
Right.
need to be a true Japanese anime.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my recycled answer for the recycling.
Double
bin.
recycle. Yeah.
My other answer is kind of like Niles. I like the concept for this movie a lot. I haven't seen this movie, because it's rated poorly and no one was talking about it until TikTok kind of
I'll tell you if it's
bumped
good.
it back up. Okay, it's called In Time with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, interesting.
I actually really like that movie.
Okay,
I
I
like
saw
the
that in
concept of the
theaters as
movie.
well.
Yeah, it has a
That
37% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
That movie has the worst looking car crash I've ever seen in it in my whole life. It just
Amazing.
goes to the most egregious CGI for one car crash and then goes back. It's hard to watch.
Sure.
But it's a charming movie.
yeah, it's a cool concept, and
Yeah.
I think as a TV show with the right showrunner and the right writers, I think it'd be really really cool.
Totally.
So having this is for the audience who doesn't know a movie world basically where instead of money, the currency you use is time, right? And it's basically how long you have to live. And so everyone has a set amount to begin, and then if you can't in this kind of capitalistic world create more and generate more time by taking it from other people,
You die.
you die. Just by buying bread and stuff, just by living your life. You go about your life and then you end up dying
So does that mean you're
because you
invincible?
run out of time. I don't know if it means you can't die, but it means
You can die, and then if you
live
die,
forever. If
the
you
person
don't
that's
die.
there can take your remaining time.
Oh,
So
that's
there you
nice
go.
of them to do that at least.
So it kind
Yep.
it kind of gives like a Warbreaker a little bit, where everyone's born into the magic of the world, and you can give away your time.
Is that
Or you
Warhammer?
could go around. No, this is the book
Warhammer 40K.
that I was recommended.
Oh,
You know, remember when I did all your recommendations?
Yeah,
You guys really should watch City of God. Anyway,
I don't watch
yeah,
foreign film.
that's fair. That's my answer. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Again,
Mine,
haven't seen it. Maybe it is great, but
Yeah, I
according
mean,
to Rotten
I
Tomatoes,
that's a
it's
great.
not.
That's exactly the type of answer I was looking for. Just like a cool concept that was not executed as well as it could have been. But my answer is actually a show that I really, really like, which is called Freaks and Geeks, and
Nice.
that only has
That's a great
one
one.
season, and it came out in
Isn't Greg
1999.
Davis in that?
Say what?
Isn't Greg Davis in that from Taskmaster?
I don't know.
I don't think he would
he
be.
is.
I think somebody.
It's like Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yeah, it's like
and-
all those guys when they're
Oh,
young.
I'm
yeah.
thinking of
Linda
I think I'm thinking of
Cardellini.
maybe the In-Betweeners or something.
That's exactly what you're thinking of. Yep, Greg Davies is in
British
there.
version of. Gotcha.
I think so.
I
But
get those two mixed up. Like,
have you seen
like
either?
Nobody's business.
I've heard In-Betweeners is actually really
no.
good.
Me too.
But Freaks and Geeks
Okay, but
was
sorry.
canceled prematurely. I think because it was ahead of its time in terms of it was an 80s nostalgia show. Not fully, but like it was set in the 80s.
Made in 1989.
well, made in
99.
1999. So it was
Dang.
it was too early
not far
because the
enough
people
off.
that would be nostalgic for the 80s were not, there wasn't enough nostalgia for the 80s yet
They
like
weren't
there is
old
today.
yet.
They weren't old. And it could be a sequel series or it could just be a complete revamp, but I just loved the way they approached the high school characters. It's like the idea of, a Disney Channel or like a Nick show where it's like iCarly or something like that, but there was no laugh track. It was really heartfelt and really funny at the same time, and they treated the characters like they were people, and they gave them like real dilemmas, like adult dilemmas, and it's just such a good show. And I would love to have like even Linda Cardellini's family, maybe her kids or something like that, where it's
Oh, is she in it?
yeah, she's the main
She's the
character.
main chick.
Then I definitely need to watch it. I love her.
It's
So is
so good.
Jason.
The
I have
cast
honestly-
is unbelievably stacked.
Ever since
It's the
she
most
was the
stacked
voice, ever since she was the voice of Cloudy J in regular show, I've had like a relatively significant crush on her.
That's Niall and every
I think she's
woman
also in
anything
Gravity
ever.
Falls.
That's also kind of true. I get crushes on girls.
She's the voice of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Otter, Lila.
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 She's also a wife of Jeremy Renner's character.
True in
Look
Marvel.
At this, look at that squad.
Yeah, it's a good squad.
You really can't.
Yeah, it's not really working, but I can look up a picture later.
Oh,
It's
there
still
they
not
are.
Focusing.
It's the
Jared's
squad.
holding up his phone camera to his computer camera, and it's just
not
Give her a
working
little-
very
quite
well.
working.
Give her a little
It's
kiss.
I
almost
see
there. It's
I see
almost
a
there.
female form, and that's about it.
Female
And I
form.
think they're standing in front of lockers.
the like when I finished the show, I was just like so in it, and I loved it so much. It ends well considering
You were
we
in
didn't have
it?
much time. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He was so
I was 6 months old, so even
That's
cooler,
cool.
I guess. But then
I love
there's
that
like
you
a
always
little
flex that you're
documentary
a
that
little
came
bit
out about it.
older than we are.
Hush up, Niall.
Hush
Sorry.
up, let me speak.
Sorry, I'm in a mood.
In an interrupted Lucas
Continue.
mood.
Yeah.
It's fine. You're always in that mood. But last thing about Freaks and Geeks, there's a little documentary about it, and it's great. It's really fun to see them kind of get together after like 10 years of being away from the show, and all of them have become super successful actors, and they're all like, yeah, the producers of the show were determined to make us successful to kind of give the middle finger to the people who canceled our show because
Awesome.
it was a good show and we all loved it and people liked it, but they canceled us, and so now we had to become the most successful comedians in Hollywood for a few years to prove them wrong, basically.
Well, it
That's
was
sick.
Judd Apatow, right, who
Judd
created
Apatow,
it.
yep. And then Paul
Judd.
Yeah,
Feig.
and so, yeah, having those two at your back and then starting a career is a good place to start.
Yep.
Good way to go, yeah.
Very good.
Very
Would
good.
you have him back to head up or at least
Totally.
produce
Oh, yeah,
the-
totally. At this point, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they could.
I'd have me back.
I would not be surprised if this actually did get revamped in some form or another. I'm sure there have been talks about it. Who knows if it'll actually
Well, it's
happen.
got a pretty strong following now, right? Like people, it's like it's
People
kind of got
check
an
it out.
Arrested Development style,
Yeah,
just like
a little bit.
dedicated fan base.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it wasn't able to stream for a while. It's on Hulu now because of music licensing rights. Like, they just didn't want to pay for them to be able to stream them, and
Yeah,
they got them back.
the
And so
theme
now,
song is the song from Shrek.
yep, Reputation.
And then I saw her. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Anyway.
That's a great answer.
Thanks. That's my question. Miscellaneous question.
That's a good
Good.
miscellaneous question.
My miscellaneous question has a name because I care about this podcast. It is called Spirit Animals.
Oh.
I have a question for you guys, and get ready for it.
I'm ready.
The question is, they are
you
making a movie. Now, I'm almost ready.
Okay.
They're making a movie. This is not true, but a picture that it is.
Okay.
They're making an animated movie, and their goal is to just get a star-studded cast.
That's all
Just as
animated
many
movies
big
do now?
stars as you can.
Yep.
And every character is just going to be that actor voicing the animal that actor most closely, I guess, either resembles in looks or in personality or, yeah, just anything. So basically, actors are voicing their spirit animals. What actors are playing what animals? I have a prompt, the first one.
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey is playing a horse.
Nice.
That's,
That's
a good one.
great. Hugh Jackman is playing a Wolverine.
Dumb.
Got him.
Dumb and bad.
No, I have a better answer. John Goodman is playing a wildebeest.
Okay.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
I feel like a pretty easy one is Gosling playing a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Gosling could play a
that's
Gosling.
a pretty good answer.
No.
Little goose.
I feel like Keanu Reeves would be playing maybe a crow or a raven.
Charlie Day plays a rat.
Of course. We gotta have that in there.
Glenn Howerton plays a
even though I feel-
ravenous hound. Like a Rottweiler.
Yeah, like a bloodhound. Oh yeah, more like a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Michael Cera plays
wanna-
a
Danny DeVito.
salamander.
Who?
Michael Cera plays a salamander.
Sorry.
I would put. I mean, this has also been going around a little bit of Timothy Chalamet looks like a lizard.
Ah.
How did Willy
interesting.
become
I hadn't
Wonka?
heard
That could be the
one.
name of the movie.
How did Willy become Wonka?
That's a good. That'd be a good name.
That'd be a cool movie to watch.
We haven't discussed any female individuals yet.
I just don't like objectifying or
Yeah, I would
personifying
never. I
as
would
an
never want to
animal.
objectify a woman. Amy Schumer,
That's good.
hippopotamus.
That's good. Oh my God.
On the topic of who cares Michael Cera, someone brought up Michael Cera at work, and there was a guy who's like, "Who's Michael Cera?" And everyone was like, "What do you mean, who's Michael Cera?"
And
He's
you
like,
said cares.
and I said, "Cares." No, and everyone was like, "You don't know who Michael Cera is? He was in Barbie." And he's like, "I didn't watch Barbie." And then that got everyone all riled up
Nice.
too, because it's like, "What do you
Oh,
mean you haven't seen
bet,
Barbie?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bet.
Bro, he's better. He's better than.
he's better than us because he doesn't know who Michael Cera
better
is
than-
He is
or has
better
seen
than-
Barbie.
I want to do, let's say, Ellen DeGeneres as a fish, maybe.
Yeah, a fish that's really mean to her staff. Dang,
I have
it is
other
harder with
can't
with
Well, I could
follow
actors.
say
those
that I don't want to. After Amy Schumer.
Yeah, that is a tough one to follow. I feel like Amy Adams could be like a canary or something. I just feel like she gives me like bird vibes in a good way. Good bird,
Yeah.
not bad bird.
Yeah, good bird.
Caitlin
Who would be a
Olsen
bad
could be an
bird?
ostrich.
Caitlin Olsen, bad bird. Yeah.
David Tennant could be a
Yeah.
little green ghoul.
David Tennant is a little green ghoul. That's his spirit animal.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'm going to start listing actors. Tommy Lee Jones,
Lion.
Regal. Yeah.
Lion.
Something
I was going to say
powerful.
something regal. I could also see him being like a bloodhound.
Yeah.
Something
Bloodhound,
that's just
yeah.
like just very no nonsense, you know? Like
Okay,
I
I'll
always
list...
think about with Tommy Lee Jones, the scenes in Men in Black where he gets covered in slime. I feel like as a director, I would be terrified to like
tell Tommy Lee
suggest
Jones
that.
to do that.
Like, all right, Tommy
Like,
Lee
look,
Jones,
man.
we're going to Nickelodeon slime you for this scene. And just like imagining the look on his face when he's like, okay, that's what we're doing today. Oh, terrifies me. Couldn't do it.
Let's all go around and give each other one celebrity. At least we could do
Or
more.
one animal.
I'll do celebrity. Okay?
And then we pick
Here's
a
the
person.
first,
I'll do a
first celebrity
celebrity
for you
as
guys.
Cowards.
Lizzo.
Just a cute little
It's a
cat.
good animal.
A kitten. Great.
Just a normal size
Good animal
cat.
that makes music that I enjoy.
Next question.
Oh, the animals have the same careers as the people in real
I don't
life?
know. Well, I don't know Lizzo as a person.
Yeah, same.
I don't even know
So
who
it's hard
Lizzo
for
is.
me
I've
to
just
know.
been told that name.
Music.
Music is your
And
person.
She did Pink.
Pink is
Yeah.
your person.
No, I'm telling you that. Never mind.
Pink, the
Keep up.
artist named Pink. I'll do.
She could be like a pug. Pink. She's got like the attitude of a pug.
Sure, yeah, that's good.
Pugs are spunky.
What about Nathan Fielder? That's mine.
Ooh. What's the most?
I feel like he'd be like a manatee.
Yeah, manatee
That'd
is
be
good.
good. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about a manatee with any voice other than Nathan Fielder. It just doesn't really feel
Yeah, it doesn't
right.
quite work.
Yeah. It's like a
Nathan Fielder the
walrus
manatee.
that's anybody other than Jamie
Um,
from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't remember his
exactly.
last name.
Heidelberg? Heidemann.
Heidemann, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Heidemann.
Miranda Cosgrove.
I do think like a black cat would be pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so,
That's very
too.
fitting.
That's good.
Megan.
Okay. Sorry I pitched a sucky question, guys.
No, it's a fun
good.
question.
The
It
hard
tied-
thing is,
Huh?
What?
I was gonna say the hard thing for me was not picturing just like the cast of Fantastic Mr. Fox and who they voiced.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
like,
It's hard.
I guess
It's hard.
Bill Murray as a old badger.
There's other things where, like, whatever,
George
David
Clooney.
Schwimmer is just a
a
giraffe.
giraffe. Yeah,
Very hard to
yeah.
make
Chris,
him anything
is
but a
Is
giraffe.
it Chris Rock? Yeah,
Chris Rock,
as a
zebra. Yeah.
But I mean, we could switch out the hippo.
I do think Christopher Walken as an orangutan is perfect.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hippo,
sure.
Jada Pinkett Smith. She's a bad lady, so we can say Hippo for her.
Isn't that who voices it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ah.
We can switch Hippo out for... Well, I guess Amy Schumer's like a joke thieving
Bad
person.
actor. So
Yeah.
She's an actor.
What animal is the worst actor?
yeah.
Which animal's the worst actor?
Yeah.
Probably whale. Too big, doesn't fit on screen.
Whale. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was staying
Doesn't-
away from whale earlier.
Camera can't capture a whale.
Not well. at
Jason
least.
Statham would be like a great white shark.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
dude.
perfect.
100%.
I love that.
Dominic
Meg.
Toretto, not Vin Diesel, but
With Dominic
no.
Toretto.
Vin Diesel, who's he being?
What has a lot of family? Rabbits? He's a rabbit. A
I feel like he could be a rhino. Oh,
Smart.
a rabbit. That's good. I like
Smart.
that. I was gonna say a
Rhino
rhino,
is good
but
too,
that's
though.
Paul Giamatti.
Cool.
And Vulture's
Yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, this question sucked. Sorry, guys.
No, it was
No,
fun.
it's good.
You got
It had a
3
good
minutes
name,
out of
too.
us.
Spirit animal.
I'm sorry. They can't all be winners. Sometimes you're gonna have a stinky episode. Sometimes
No,
you're gonna
this
have a
is a
stinky
fun
part of an
episode.
episode. Hey,
this-
this fulfilled.
this
This
episode
fulfilled
used to be
what
so good.
we were saying about how this it
just
fell
fell
off.
off.
This episode fell off big time in the second half.
Yeah, they had us in the
Oh,
first
man,
half,
guys,
not gonna lie.
I'm so sorry to have you in the first half with this episode. Just ruin the second half.
That's okay.
Ugh, it didn't build to anything. That's the problem. We got to figure out how to make these episodes build to something. Have a climax at the end.
Gotta
That's
figure
true.
out how to make money off this. It's just too,
too
good.
good.
It's just too good.
We can. What's going to be our big thing at the end of this episode? The rest of this episode is planning the rest of the episode.
We could make the big thing being shouting out to Kel.
Okay.
That's a great thing to do.
That feels
On
like
this-
denouement, but
on this
I'll-
Thanksgiving.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
thankful for
one we're most
list every
thankful
single
for.
listener, whether they're a patron or not. We have
I
that list,
think-
right? Of their personal
It's
information.
just the
Yeah,
three of us,
yeah.
Kel, and then our patrons.
I think
Pretty sure.
this
You
week
can't
instead
prove
of
it unless you subscribe. You can't
true.
prove that you listen to us
True.
exactly
unless you subscribe to our
this
Patreon.
week, the people that are shouting out Kel are not going to shout out Kel. They're going to say that they're thankful for Kel.
Ah.
So this week, the following people are thankful for Kel: Nick Bell, Michael Polonsic, Easy Lob, Britton Inkley, Riley Allen, Ian James Martin, and Hannah Steed. And of course, Mom, the three of us, Jared, Niall, and Lucas.
Hey.
We're thankful for you.
Cal.
We're thankful for the love that you give us and the support that you give us, even though you
And the
don't
food you're
support us
making,
on
Niall.
Patreon. Yeah, the food that you're making me, I'm really grateful for, and I love you very much. Mwah.
None of our
And we'll
parents.
See you
are
on
subscribed
another
to our
Man
Patreon.
Cave Movie Night
You
Monday.
kidding me?
Now, if you want to be grateful for my mom, then you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/mancavemovienight, where for $3 you can be grateful to my mom at the end of every episode. And
Except for next week.
yeah, why next week? What happens then?
I'm just not going to be grateful for next week.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
And if that's not the way that you want to support us or can support us, then you can support us by giving us dang good reviews on all the
right.
platforms. You can support us by following us on InstyPost,
Click.
where we have a lovely intern helping us out with the posts because we're bad at it.
Love our TikToks.
We love our
Hooray.
TikTok. We love our InstaPost
Reels,
trivia nights. We just love it. We love everything, always,
All
forever.
at once.
Forever. Always.
That movie fell off too. It was good for like 5 minutes and then it sucked. For
It was
the
just
What
felt
is
weird.
wrong with you? Everything Everywhere All at Once is a great movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
no.
good when it was just
It was
like
great
count
for 5
people
minutes.
struggling with
You
their
know what fell off
accounting.
Yeah.
was the Sony villain universe. Man, that was going to be such a good idea.
Oh,
after
dude,
they
it started out so
knocked
strong.
us apart
Strong.
with Venom 1.
Well, you could even argue that it started with Amazing Spider-Man 2, where the concept was
That's
really
true, that's
where the-
materializing.
And that was
Venom.
our best Spider-Man movie.
And that started out really strong.
We have just as many Sony Venom villain universe movies coming out next year as previously have existed. There are 3 next year and there are 3 now. So this is not going to be
Sick.
fun.
We have an equal amount of Sony Venom verse movies as we do rainy Spider-Man movies,
currently. Ugh.
which sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
We're gonna have twice as many after 1 year in 1 year from now.
Well, what we found out with Marvel and with all superhero stuff is more
better as it
content
goes.
means better.
True.
It's better with time.
Which is why I lied at the beginning. We're never gonna stop this podcast. More.
Ah.
More.
We're never going to
more,
stop this
more,
episode,
more,
I think, because
more,
we definitely
more,
already
more,
did the wrap
more.
up. But
That's
we're just
true.
still going.
We're just kind of talking.
Well,
If you want to hear the rest of what we have to say, then either subscribe or support us on Patreon, or just hold out for when we see you on another Man Cave Movie Night Monday. Oh, that's Jared's. I'm sorry.
we'll see you in December. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.